call, and Kei is scared that Aiko will get hurt. He collects the phone to make the call by himself. Kei calls the number, and surprisingly, they hear a girl's voice from the booth, begging for help. Yayoi throws her stuffed bear inside the booth, and before they know it, the stuffed bear gets shredded. This scares the shit out of the trio, and they soon find themselves driving away from the scene before they suffer the same fate as the stuffed bear. They return to the house, and instead of freaking out, Yayoi is thrilled. Aiko tells Kei that the girl thinks ghosts are cool. Kei becomes mad, asking Yayoi what her parents would think if they found out that she went to a dangerous place, but he gets no answer to the question. Moving away from this, Kei and Yayoi decide that it is time to study. During the study session, Kei realizes that the girl is actually pretty brilliant. Yayoi then comments on the fact that spirits are attracted to Kei more than her. Later that night, Aiko reveals that Yayoi lost her parents in a car crash, and the reason she likes going to haunted places is because she is looking for her mother. After the accident which took her parents' life, Yayoi realizes that she could see the real world and the supernatural world at the same time. This is all thanks to her two pupils. Yayoi also realized that a wicked spirit appeared during the crash to take her mother's soul away. Yayoi has been on the search for her mother ever since then. Yayoi can see spirits, but her mother's spirit has been hidden away from her. Kei feels bad for her after hearing all of this. He realizes that he has to help Yayoi in whichever way that he can. The next day, Yayoi suggests that they visit the phone booth again. She gives Kei a Jizo statue, claiming that it is going to protect her. Upon getting there, Yayoi tells Kei that he is the only person who can connect with the spirit. Before Kei knows what is happening, he is dragged into the phone booth. The spirit starts choking him out with the phone's wire. Yayoi can see how badly the spirit wants Kei, because the spirit is pushing through its limit just to have Kei. Yayoi then comes in to rescue the scaredy cat before he dies. She drags out the Jizo statue and spins it around, before hitting the payphone with it. The payphone shatters, causing the spirit immense pain, and to finish it off, Yayoi cuts the wire. The spirit is defeated, and Yayoi assures Kei that she will always be there to protect him. On their way back home, Kei gets the scary feeling that the curse is still with them. It turns out that Yayoi actually took the curse with them, and she is stuffing it inside one of her stuffed bears. Upon getting home, Aiko tells Kei that she is aware of the fact that Kei likes the feeling that he gets from fear. He might try to hide it, but he actually likes getting scared. On the other hand, Kei figures out that Yayoi is having difficulties finding the spirits because they are running from her. She is basically a terror made to deal with the spirits at this point. It is time for Kei to have his usual exorcism, and the two girls offer to follow him. In fact, they insist that they need to follow him. As usual, they get into Aiko's car, and they start heading to the shrine where the exorcism takes place. Kei has to go through this process because of his cursed hand. Kei's grandma is in charge of the shrine, which makes things a bit easier. After a fun and adventurous journey, they arrive at the shrine. Kei's grandma becomes frantic when she sees Yayoi. She suggests that Kei take her away because she is dangerous. However, Kei manages to calm his grandma and let her know that Yayoi is not a threat. Once they are all on the same page, Kei follows his grandma so that they can get the exorcism done. During the exorcism session, Aiko shows Yayoi what Kei's hand looks like under the glove. It turns out that Kei's cursed hand is covered with ingrown and painful nerves. This is what his grandma and the shrine people removed during the exorcism. After looking at the image, Yayoi notices that something is off, but she keeps the details to herself. After the exorcism session, Yayoi notices that Kei's grandma looks smaller and exhausted. This is all because of the curse's effect. The shredded nerves are supposed to be dangerous, but Yayoi takes a keen interest in them. Realizing that the girl seems to have no sense of fear in her, the old woman decides to tell her a scary story. The old woman tells Yayoi that there are dolls locked in the basement of the shrine. These are scary dolls that require sacrifices to be made. The woman then mentions the fact that the dolls are always looking for who to possess, which is why they are going to get whoever goes close to the basement. Meanwhile, Kei is not with them, and while walking around, he finds an innocent stuffed bear on the floor. He picks it up with the intention of giving it to his grandma. The old woman ends the story with a scary hiss and expression just to scare Yayoi, but to her utmost shock, Yayoi tells the woman that her story is quite fun. Yayoi then asks the woman for the description of the dolls, and upon hearing what they look like, Yayoi realizes that Kei is in trouble. She picks up a katana with the aim of saving Kei. She tells the old woman that Kei has been possessed by one of the dolls, but it is still in its weakened state. Kei is now struggling in the basement. He is getting choked out by the dolls. His mouth is stuffed with hair, as he remembers his grandmother's warning about the basement. He has always been careful of the basement, which is why he is surprised to have found himself in such a precarious state. Just when Kei is about to give up the ghost, Yayoi shows up, wielding the katana. She cuts off the doll's head while telling it never to mess with humans. Yayoi finishes off the doll before it can kill Kei. She then turns to the rest of the dolls, warning them to never come close to humans again, or else she is going to unalive them. The hair is pulled out of Kei's mouth as he struggles to breathe. His grandma and Aiko also run into the room, totally relieved that he is still alive. Both Kei and his grandma are thankful that Yayoi came to the rescue. She is the least expected person to have saved Kei, but she did it. Before leaving, Kei tells his grandma that Yayoi is actually a good kid. His grandma has no choice but to agree with this, and she tells Kei that his ability to sense spirits is going to continue helping him and his friends stay safe. She urges him to embrace the ability and not be ashamed of it. With this, the trio leaves the sanctuary. Kei then buys Yayoi a souvenir to keep the Jizo away from her. Upon getting home, Yayoi takes Kei to her room to show him her collections. Fear grips Kei when he realizes that Yayoi has a bulk load of spirits locked up in her room. She even took the doll she defeated earlier that day with her. Kei has always thought he could cope with Yayoi's level of craziness, but he is starting to rethink his decisions at this point. Kei believes the spirits can hurt the girl. Yayoi seems very confident that she is safe. Even Aiko knows about the spirits, but she is relaxed. Kei is gripped with fear when Yayoi tells her that she needs his fingernails. Kei leaves that night without asking more questions. Kei would have preferred not to return to the house, but he has no choice because he owes Aiko his life. When he returns the next day for Yayoi's tutoring, he realizes that Aiko is calm, like there is nothing scary inside the house. Kei suffers a hard time trying to run away from the devilish brat, because every second, she is trying to cut Kei's nails. Kei doesn't know why she needs his nail, and he is not ready to hand it over. Later that day, Aiko suggests that they visit another haunted site, but Kei refuses to go with them. He agrees that he is scared, which is why he is not going to go with them. Aiko and Yayoi then leave without him. As they drive away, Yayoi tells Aiko that she knows how to get rid of Kei's curse. Yayoi then directs them to a place where they are supposed to find the spirit that placed the curse on Kei. They head to an abandoned temple which is dedicated to babies who died before they were even born. It is said that unborn ghosts roam the temple, and there is a maternal divine being watching over the temple. Upon getting to the temple, Yayoi tells Aiko to stay in the car because it is dangerous. She then tells Aiko to call for help if she doesn't return in 1 hour. Yayoi then walks into the temple all by herself. Yayoi narrates that the maternal divine being, Kishimojin, was once a terrible divine being who takes children away, but when Buddha takes away one of her children, she realizes the pain that comes with losing a child. Since then, Kishimojin has devoted herself to protecting babies. However, it seems the inability of the unborn to rest in peace has poisoned her goodwill. Yayoi soon finds herself staring at the divine being. She can feel the scary aura coming from the divine being, but she knows that running away is no longer an option. Kishimojin tries to grab Yayoi with an umbilical cord, but she gets lucky and escapes from the scene, suffering just a sprain. It is over an hour already, and Aiko drives away to find help. Yayoi makes it to the forest where she brings out a bunch of paper dolls. She adds a part of herself to the dolls to turn them into proxies. While she is doing this, one of the unborn children wanders to where Yayoi is, and Yayoi grabs it. Yayoi is in a store, looking for what to buy when Aiko comes running breathless like a dog. She tells Kei that Yayoi is in danger and she needs help. Kei initially refuses to help, but he changes his mind when he hears that Yayoi is in this mess, because she was looking for a way to lift Kei's curse. Aiko and Kei then rush down to the temple in an attempt to rescue Yayoi before it is too late. Yayoi is being chased down by Kishimojin and her unborn, but Yayoi manages to push them back a bit by threatening to hurt the unborn that she caught. Yayoi is also able to misdirect the spirits by placing the paper dolls in different locations. Once the spirits are misdirected, Yayoi manages to escape into the temple's hall, and all she can do is pray that they don't find her. Just then, she notices that all of the spirits are moving away from where she is. It turns out that Kei has arrived at the temple and the spirits are now after him. Kei manages to distract the spirits by running around the temple until he gets to Yayoi. Kei gets to the girl, grabs her, and runs for the car. They jump into the car and Aiko drives away as fast as she can. They return to the city and Kei settles Yayoi's hospital bills, which leaves his pocket dry. After Yayoi receives her treatment, Kei backs her and starts taking her home. He then asks Yayoi why she would risk herself to save him. Yayoi reveals that she has the desire to become stronger because she could have saved her mother if she was stronger. Yayoi then reveals that her friends are as important to her as family. Yayoi will not hesitate to save her friends just the same way she is going to save her family. Yayoi then suggests that Kei comes with her to her room once again. She urges Kei to trust her, and Kei agrees to trust the girl. Yayoi takes Kei to the room and explains to him that all of the plushies in the room as a part of herself in them. Since they are all possessed, if any of them try to hurt, they take the damage instead. This is why they will never attack her and instead protect her from other spirits. She has done the same ritual for all of Aiko's family, and this is the reason she needed Kei's nails. Just then, Yayoi throws a finger on the floor. This is a finger from the statue that was in the temple. Basically, it is Kishimojin's finger. Yayoi knows the spirits who were hurt and trying to protect her are going to be angry at the divine being. The moment she drops the finger on the floor, they all jump her and attack her. This causes the divine being to beg for mercy, and all Kei can do is marvel. She realizes that Yayoi is so scary that she even forces a divine being to fear her floor and show her who the boss is. Yayoi then reveals that she is gathering all of these spirits to have enough power to challenge the spirit that took her mother. Apparently, Yayoi can get the spirits to kill each other, and this is what she plans to do to the spirit that cursed Kei. At this point, Kei realizes that he is in the same wagon as Yayoi. Their mission is to catch scary spirits and get them to kill the bad ones. Up next, we get to learn that Kei and Aiko are both cursed. Aiko is cursed on her left hand, while the curse affects Kei's right hand. Apparently, this happened when they were younger. Trying to save Aiko from her curse is one of the reasons Kei might agree to work with Yayoi. Later on, Aiko and Kei decide to visit the college campus where their next life journey is going to begin. Yayoi, being the nosy one, also decides to tag along. It is a fun drive to the college campus, and arriving at the school, Kei is welcomed by a bunch of students since she is popular. When it is time to register for classes, Aiko adds folklore to the list of classes she will be taking, because Kei will also be taking the class. Kei soon finds out that Aiko is interested in taking the urban legend class, which features scary stories. Kei doesn't want to take this class, but he is forced to do so since Aiko will be taking the class. They are required to go to the class demo, and Kei tags along. Upon arriving at the class, the teacher tells them about the horror video he is going to show them. It is about a student who unalived himself in a gruesome way, and it is said that a curse is attached to the video. Whoever watches the video will suffer the same fate as the victim. This is probably to scare them, but nonetheless, the teacher turns on the video so that they can watch. The victim sits in one place, probably thinking about his poor life, until he finally takes the drastic decision to unalive himself by burning himself to death. However, towards the end of the video, the victim's image suddenly changes to that of Kei, leaving everyone surprised and terrified. Even the teacher wasn't expecting this because he had seen the video countless times. The teacher gets scared and runs out of the room, and the other students soon follow. This leaves Kei, Aiko, and Yayoi in the room. Suddenly, one of Yayoi's plushies starts to smoke. It dawns on them that the curse has attached itself to Kei, and it is now trying to kill him. However, the stuffed bear still protects Kei. Yayoi suggests that they lift the curse before it burns through the stuffed animal. Failure to do this means Kei is going to die a fiery death. The first thing Yayoi does is to trap the spirit inside a doll. She pulls out the video recording and sends it to her mobile tab. She places the possessed doll and the tablet inside a box. Yayoi plans to play the video and force the spirit to watch it. The spirit will be forced to lift the curse so it doesn't kill itself. Just then, Yayoi plays the video, but the spirit takes another route. It attacks Kei, causing his clothes to light up on fire. Aiko takes out the fire and Yayoi stops the video. The spirit cannot attack Kei directly, which is why it attacked Kei's clothes. Yayoi realizes that the only way she can defeat the spirit is to get it away from the school. It is going to be a dangerous drive back to the house, and Kei offers to be a part of that. He is the one they are trying to help, and he doesn't want to be on the sidelines. Aiko remembers how Kei had always helped her when they were younger. This was why she got close to the boy. Kei could see the supernatural, so he always made sure to steer Aiko clear of danger. He was also trying to protect Aiko from danger when they got cursed. Aiko then tells Kei that she also wants to help him, because he has always done the same for her. The trio then comes up with a plan. They strip Kei of his clothes, which is at the school. This is a club that pretends to be a normal club, but every year during the welcome party, the entire club members commit mass suicide. The reason the school has not been able to stop them is the fact that the club changes its name every year. However, there is a particular name that usually comes up in the roster every year, and you can guess: Nagayama. This immediately tells Kei that he is in trouble. However, there is nothing that he can do to help his situation. He passes out thanks to the water he was given to drink earlier. Before he passes out, he realizes that Nagayama has been possessed by a spirit. Yayoi and Aiko also see this, and immediately leave the house in an attempt to rescue the boy. By the time Kei wakes up, he finds himself hanging from the ceiling with a chair under his legs. All it takes is for the chair to move and Kei is a goner. Meanwhile, Aiko and Yayoi are driving as fast as they can. Yayoi is also looking into the past suicide cases. She realizes that Nagayama is the spirit that has been possessing the victims. The spirit possesses a student and convinces the student to unalive themselves, but also convince others to join them in the act. The two manage to reach the complex before Nagayama gets to kill Kei. Yayoi rushes into the room and forces a bottle of sake laced with salt down the assailant's throat. This immediately expels the spirit, leaving the college boy, but to their surprise, the guy is also a maniac on his own. He brings out a lighter, ready to burn himself and everyone in the room. Apparently, the guy's real name is Machida, and he was once sent to prison for a minor offense. After he got back into the real world, he suffered discrimination like a regular criminal, and this took away all hope that he had for humanity. Machida apparently became a bad person, and this is the reason Nagayama easily took over his body. However, Yayoi is able to easily take him down, letting him know that he has no right to kill another person just because he also wants to die. The students are rescued and laid on the floor so that the police can come in to do their job. Just as they are about to leave the complex, Kei feels something really weird happen. It seems the spirit is not dead. Yayoi also feels this, and she immediately realizes what is happening. Yayoi explains that spirits also lose energy over time, and to maintain their stay in this world, they need to consume other spirits. This is what Nagayama has been doing. Nonetheless, Yayoi has already trapped the spirit, so there is no need for panic. The trio leaves there that night, bringing an end to the suicide curse that has been ravaging the school for years. The students who were almost unalived were also rescued. When the trio is heading home, Yayoi tells Kei that he has no choice when it comes to the supernatural. He is like a soup magnet, and they will always come for him. Kei then realizes that Aiko and Yayoi shouldn't have known where he was. However, Yayoi lies to him that it is nothing but a woman's intuition, and the fool gobbles it up easily. Up next, Kei, Yayoi, and Aiko decide to go camping near a stream. They soon set up camp, and while Aiko is out to get supplies, Yayoi and Kei are trying to catch fish. Yayoi then asks Kei if he has made a decision to join her in catching spirits, but it seems Kei is not ready yet. He is also scared that Yayoi is going to get hurt, but Yayoi tells him not to worry about how she is going to live her life. Yayoi then makes a wager. If she catches more fish than Kei automatically accepts the spirit hunting mission. Kei accepts the wager and it is game on. However, the two end up catching nothing till Aiko returns with dinner supplies. The two forget about their wager and enjoy a delicious meal for the night. Yayoi is the first to sleep, leaving Aiko and Kei to have all the time they need to discuss. Kei then asks Aiko if she will be willing to get rid of the curse. To answer his question, Aiko takes Kei to the stream where she tells him all about how she has always enjoyed researching the supernatural. In fact, she is doing it to learn more about Kei. After hearing this, Kei asks Aiko if she is not going to be angry if he dives into the supernatural world. Aiko only wants one thing, and this is Kei promising to take her along. She wants to be by his side whenever he goes out to hunt the supernatural so that they can work together. Kei promises to do this, and the two seal it with a pinky swear. Just as they are about to leave the stream, Aiko turns around to see a shadow jumping off the bridge, but when she looks closer, there is no one, or nothing there. Kei also does not sense anything coming from the bridge. With this, the two go to bed. In the middle of the night, a spirit appears beside Aiko's bed. Kei gets the feeling that something is wrong, and he leaves his tent. Kei is shocked to see Aiko walking off like a zombie. He is able to stop her while he calls out for Yayoi. Aiko is taken to the tent, but she has been possessed by a spirit. Yayoi tells Kei that the spirit forces people to jump off the bridge. They need to lead Aiko to the bridge, or else Aiko is going to remain like that forever. They put together a plan to catch the spirit, and Kei leads Aiko to the bridge. Getting to the bridge, they run into a spirit, and Kei quickly traps it in one of Yayoi's dolls. Kei thinks it is over until he realizes that Aiko is still possessed. At the same time, Yayoi realizes that they are against a bunch of spirits, and they are not after Aiko. They are actually after Kei, and Aiko is just the bait. Aiko and Kei fall off the bridge, but thankfully, Kei has a rope tied around him. Kei would have been a goner if not for the plan they already made. Yayoi also manages to catch a few spirits, but they are still left to contend with a bunch. Kei and Aiko return to the tent, and Yayoi comes up with another plan to engage the spirits. It seems they are up against 10 spirits, and they need to defeat all of them to set Aiko free. Kei takes Aiko to the stream, but before he knows it, Aiko pushes him into the water and forces a spirit down his throat. However, Kei is able to expel the spirit thanks to the sacred water that Yayoi has previously given to him. He also manages to capture the spirit with the doll that he has with him. Meanwhile, Yayoi is also hunting them down, without the spirits realizing it. They now have to rescue Aiko, but unknown to the spirits, Yayoi already has a plan. She has a spirit with her that is quite powerful, and she is able to use this to threaten the rest of the wandering spirits. To avoid dying, the spirits enter the dolls by themselves. It is now left for Yayoi to figure out the exact spirit that has possessed Aiko. Yayoi, being the ruthless exorcist that she is, uses force to figure out who the culprit is. Yayoi gets rid of the spirit, leaving Aiko free. By morning, Aiko cannot believe everything that happened, because she doesn't remember even a tiny bit. Kei and Aiko later leave the tent to talk, and in the heat of the moment, the two confess that they love each other. Kei assures Aiko that he will always be there to save Aiko whenever she runs into trouble. When they get back home, Kei tells Yayoi that he has finally made the decision to start hunting spirits with her. He wants to do this to protect the ones that he loves, and unknown to him, Aiko has him exactly where she wants him. Yayoi and Kei talk about their preparation for the spirit hunting business. Yayoi wants to empower herself pretty well before going up against the spirit who took her mother. She has even given the spirit a name, the Spectre of Death. The spirit is quite a powerful one, and this is why Yayoi needs to get stronger. Yayoi also creates a magnetism conduit for them to use whenever they are out on a mission. Due to Kei and Aiko's confession of love for each other, they are basically boyfriend and girlfriend now. In no time, Yayoi and the new couple set out for their first mission in the world world of spirit hunting. The first place they visit is a supposed haunted tunnel. There is a rumor that a long-haired woman in a white dress covered in blood wanders the length of the tunnel. There are also reports that a woman and her weird son cross the road whenever someone drives by. In fact, a bunch of ghost stories surround the tunnel. Yayoi and Eiko are excited to see what lies inside the tunnel, but Kei is always the scaredy cat and he doesn't feel thrilled like the girls are. They park the car outside and walk into the tunnel. Moments later, Kei feels Eiko holding his hands and he smiles. Just then, he turns around to see Eiko standing in the distance, which means Kei is being held by a spirit. Kei screams out in fear, and Yayoi immediately brings out a doll to grab the spirit, but it manages to escape. Yayoi then suggests that they leave so that they can come back with the car. Kei just wants to go home, but this doesn't apply to the two supernatural freaks. Moments later, they return with the car, hoping that the ghost will enter the car with them, making it easy for them to capture it. Kei looks into the mirror to see a baby ghost lying on the floor, but when he turns around to get a better look, there is no one there. Suddenly, a scary ghost appears in front of them, and before Eiko can even think of what to do, Yayoi causes her to step on the gas. The car hits the ghost and knocks it backward. Eiko and Kei freak out, asking Kei why she hit the ghost. Yayoi then reveals that she intentionally stepped on the gas so she can know the type of ghost that it is. There are 3 types. The first type is the one that will go through the car, and the second type passes through and stays in the car, while the last one gets hit. Apparently the ghost wants to mess with them, but unless they let it in, it cannot. The car door is opened and the ghost enters, but Kei is given the task to capture it. With fear crawling through his body, he manages to pull it off. Just as they are about to leave, Kei gets the feeling that a ghost is sitting close to him, but when he looks closely, there is nothing there. He just assumes that he is imagining things, but unknown to him, there is actually a scary ghost in the car. That night, Kei takes his bath and goes to sleep. Once he is comfortable, the ghost appears and drags him out of the bed. At the same time, Yayoi figures out that they have caught the wrong ghost. They caught a wandering ghost while the real ghost managed to elude them. Yayoi immediately suggests that they go back to Kei's place. Yayoi and Eiko get to Kei's place and manage to trick his mother into letting them into the house. Before entering Kei's room, Yayoi comes up with a plan because she knows that the ghost they are dealing with is a cunning one. She uses the spirit conduit to figure out where the real ghost is before entering the room. The moment she enters, the ghost attacks her, but Yayoi is already prepared for this. Instead of the ghost surprising her, she ends up surprising the ghost. Yayoi chokes the ghost, demanding that she let go of Kei. The ghost, scared of dying immediately, does as told. However, Yayoi still doesn't let her go. Yayoi catches her and adds her to the list of spirits she has in her bedroom. The next morning, Kei also wakes up with no knowledge of what happened. Kei believes that he is a useless member of the team, but Yayoi tells him that he is not. At least he makes for a good bait whenever they are on a mission. Ouch. Later that night, Kei receives a call from the tutoring hub, telling him that another student has been added to his list. The next day, Kei meets with the supposed new student. Her name is Ai, and she seems like the crazy type. She also has a flashing fashion sense, and in addition to this, there is a star shape formed on her eyes. Kei and Ai sit down in a cafe for their first lesson, because Ai claims that she will not focus at home. When Kei notices that the girl likes sweet things, he decides to use this to his advantage. He tells Ai that she will only get to eat her sweet things with each answer that she gets correctly. Kei will be the one to eat the sweets if she is wrong. Kei already believes that this is going to be the perfect way to teach the girl, but to his greatest surprise, the girl gets every question wrong, leaving Kei to eat every damn thing on their table. At this point, Kei realizes that the girl is really dull, and it is going to take a lot to tutor her. One of the attendants is coming close to Ai when she falls and spills the water she is carrying. Kei looks to the ground and sees a pair of footprints. Kei realizes that a ghost is following the girl around, and when he talks to Ai about it, it seems she is also aware. Ai reveals that bad things happen to people around her. She tells Kei the story about her big brother who died when they were walking together. This was because of the spirit following her around. After the death of her brother, he starts protecting Ai from bad spirits and ghosts. However, because of this, her brother cannot rest in peace. The reason Ai hired Kei, in fact, the only ghost she has seen is her brother's ghost. Yayoi immediately tests Eiko to join them in the apartment. Upon her arrival, Kei introduces Eiko to Ai as his girlfriend, because he knows that Eiko is going to tear his head off if he doesn't. Yayoi then tells the group that the apartment is basically a supernatural nest at the moment. She needs something to return the apartment back to normal. Before the group leaves the apartment, Kei decides to visit the toilet, and this is when he runs into a really scary ghost. Kei freezes up, but immediately changes his stance to fool the ghost. He doesn't want the demon to get the idea that he can see him. Kei walks to the restroom and starts to use it, but the ghost follows him. Kei is trying his best not to pee on himself as he uses the restroom. The ghost tries to pick out his brain, but thanks to Yayoi's doll, Kei is protected. Kei manages to return to the room, looking like he just saw a ghost, but he actually just did. Kei immediately suggests that they leave. Kei manages to tell Yayoi that they are in trouble. Getting to the stairs, it has been blocked off. The group immediately rushes to the elevator to escape the apartment. However, the ghost takes control of the elevator. He traps them and tries to prevent them from leaving. The ghost grabs Kei and drags him back into the elevator, but Yayoi joins him in the elevator. The elevator door locks, leaving the two inside. Ai is worried, but Eiko assures her that Kei will be fine as long as Yayoi is with him. The ghost takes control of the elevator and sends them to the basement. In the basement, they see the ghost playing with his victim's brainstem. His victims are also in the basement, and he is preventing them from even resting in peace. Kei knows that the moment they step out of the elevator, they are in trouble. The ghost tries to use his victims to get them out, but Yayoi comes up with a counter plan. Yayoi wants to trap the ghost, and before leaving the elevator, he gives Kei one of her dolls to protect him. Yayoi tries a powerful spiritual rope to the doll before rushing out of the elevator. The ghost underestimates Yayoi, giving her the chance to run around him and tie the rope to the ghost's leg. Kei then pulls the rope, which is already attached to the ghost. It turns out that Yayoi has a powerful spirit inside the doll she gave to Kei. The spirit is angry because he got hurt when the ghost was trying to harm Kei the other time. The ghost is dragged into the elevator where the powerful spirit is waiting. The spirit crushes the ghost's leg, rendering him immobile. After capturing the ghost, they ride back to Ai's room to put it there. Yayoi straps him to a corner of the room where he will suffer from his victims. In addition, this will scare away other spirits that might want to come to the room. Yayoi is using one stone to kill two birds in this instance. Once everything is complete, the two reunite with the girl. Ai is very happy to see them because she is already blaming herself for what happened. They suggest that Ai come with them, but Ai is reluctant because she doesn't want them to get hurt. Yayoi manages to convince her that she will be safe as long as she is with them. Yayoi tells her that all evil spirits will be warded off once she is with them. Ai is convinced, and she joins them in the car. While in the car, Ai has an internal monologue where she tells her brother not to worry about her again. She now has good people looking out for her, and she should be safe. Meanwhile, Kei is still concerned about the divine being issue. He knows that it is just a matter of time before the divine being shows up to take Yayoi away. Upon returning to Yayoi's room, they are shocked to see the decimation left behind by the divine being. Kei is freaked out, but Yayoi sees an opportunity. She realizes that the divine being is going to serve as a good instrument if she is able to overpower him and get him under control. The divine being is still present there, and when he hears this, he makes fun of Yayoi, telling her that she has no chance against him with the weak spirits she has in her room. However, Yayoi replies, telling the divine being that the spirits he went against are nothing but babies. Her real heavy hitters, who are known as graduates, are stashed somewhere else. Yayoi is fearless, and she challenges the divine being to a battle. The divine being accepts, telling Yayoi that he will be waiting till she becomes powerful enough to take him on. Kei is also angry, and he accidentally declares battle with the divine being too. All the spirits in the room are also ready to fight as they start shaking in excitement, ready for whenever they are going to fight the divine being. After the declaration of battle from both sides, the divine being leaves. Once he is gone, Yayoi suggests that they leave the room immediately because something crazy is about to happen. The power balance in the room has been displaced because of the divine being's actions. This means the weak spirits will be consumed by the much powerful ones until there is only one left. Yayoi and Kei step out of the room, and instantly, they hear the spirits tearing into each other. Once the noise goes down, Yayoi slowly opens the door to reveal the last man standing. The last man is a spirit Yayoi calls a graduate. They enter the room, and just then, Kei receives a call from Yayoi's cell. Yayoi quickly tells him not to pick up the call because he is going to die. It turns out that the call is being placed by the new graduate. Things get worse when they realize that the graduate is now calling Eiko. The spirit locks the door to prevent them from warning Eiko about the call. Immediately, Yayoi gets to work. She starts sealing the graduate before he gets the chance to unalive Eiko. Yayoi manages to get it done before Eiko can pick up the call. Kei rushes out of the room and slaps Eiko's hand off the phone to protect her. Yayoi tells the two that the graduates are too powerful to be kept in her room, which is why she stashes them in a place where she can contain their power. The next morning, they return to Al's room to finish cleaning up the room and making sure that there is no loophole. After doing this, they come back to Yayoi's room to clean also. However, Ai needed to leave because it was her brother's memorial service. The trio returns to the room to clean up, and after they are done, they are totally exhausted. Yayoi then tells his team members about the dangers of going up against the divine being. She lets them know that it is quite risky, but there is no turning back again. They have challenged the divine being already, and they just need to live up to their challenge. Yayoi needs a bunch of spirits so that she can create more graduates, which will help them fight against the divine being. Yayoi has fought a divine being before, but that one was weaker. She used 3 graduates to take down the said divine being, but she knows that they are going to need more if they are to defeat the current divine being. At least 6 graduates will be needed if they are to defeat the current divine being. Currently, Yayoi has 3 graduates excluding the recent one. She also has a transcendent Jizo, which is quite stronger than her graduates. Generally, that makes it 5 strong spirits that she has. The plan now is to go around Japan and capture the powerful spirits so that they can have at least 1 more graduate level in their ranks. Yayoi already has a compilation of all the haunted sites, including their danger level. With the sites that she has compiled, Yayoi is confident that they are going to come out victorious. They are also going to use this to take down the Spectre of Death. After all of Yayoi's explanation, Kei still makes sure that they have their daily lesson session. Eiko runs away to her house to avoid getting dragged into their mess. That night, Yayoi and Kei go out for a bicycle ride. The two get to share their emotions together. At this moment, Yayoi tells Kei that he is no longer a bait, but someone she now considers to be her partner. This means so much to Kei, and as the ride continues, Kei realizes that they have gotten to one of the sites that she marked on the map. Yayoi has the new graduate with her to protect them in the fight they are about to take. The ruins they are about to enter are one of the most dangerous sites that they possibly can, but Yayoi is excited while Kei is pissing his pants. Yayoi lets Kei know that the spirit that they are about to go against is S rank, and spirits like this can particularly trap their victim or even lay a curse on them that will stay forever. According to what Yayoi has read, she believes that the powerful spirit residing in the ruins is not evil. There has been no one who has written anything bad about the ruins in the past. Suddenly, an old woman appears behind them, offering to take them to the waterfall. Yayoi and Kei already read about an old woman's encounter, and they are aware that it is nothing to be scared of. Since the old woman is ready to show them the way, Yayoi and Kei follow her. On their way to the waterfall, the old woman tells them the story about the ruins. There was a particular castle located in the ruins in the past. The castle served as a garrison, but when the soldiers were out fighting elsewhere, the enemy showed up. The people left in the castle are non-combatants composed of women and children. This made it easy for the enemy to take control of the garrison. The children and women were mutilated, beheaded, and killed in the worst of ways. The women who survived the onslaught even slit their own throats and fell inside the waterfall. This is basically the story of the waterfall. As they continue further, Yayoi gives Kei one of the dolls to keep him safe just in case they run into something bad. On the other hand, Yayoi has the graduate and the finger of Kishimojin to keep her safe. Moments later, Kei gets the feeling that someone is around him, but when he turns to look, there is no one. The two continue the journey, and out of nowhere, Kei holds Yayoi's hand. However, Yayoi notices that Kei is acting weird. He is too calm and collected for someone who normally freaks out. It turns out that the person holding Yayoi is not actually Kei. Kei is no longer with Yayoi and the old woman. He is lost in the woods, and when he finally comes to, he realizes that Yayoi and the old lady are gone. Yayoi is being led away by the old woman, who is disguised as Kei. Meanwhile, Eiko tries to locate Kei's whereabouts, but the tracking device she has on the boy is not working. Shortly afterward, Yayoi is finally knocked to the ground with the old woman ready to consume her. Kei is scared out of his mind, but he knows that he has to find Yayoi because she is counting on him to do so. He is Yayoi's partner after all. Kei's fear soon takes over when he realizes that he is surrounded by lots of spirits. He soon finds it hard to move from one spot, and he figures out that he is probably being controlled by the spirits. In no time, Kei finds himself at the waterside. The spirit puts a curse on him the moment he lowers his guard. The curse rips open a small part of his neck, which will eventually cut off his head when the curse fully manifests. The spirit is powerful enough to get through the protection doll before getting to Kei himself. Kei immediately freaks out and he starts running around, looking for Yayoi to save him. Kei finds himself by the waterfall, but to his dismay, Yayoi is hanging dead from a tree. Kei also looks around to see a powerful spirit staring at him. At this point, Kei realizes that he is done for. He let his guard down, which allowed the spirit to get to him, and also to kill Yayoi in the process. On the other hand, Yayoi has been able to move her body all thanks to Kishimojin's finger. This helps her to break the paralysis spell put on her. The moment she regains herself, she goes after the old woman, hitting her in the eye, and forcing her to run for it. However, she catches the old lady and beats her to a pulp. After she is done, Yayoi thanks her stars that Kei actually called her name. Kei and the finger saved her life, so she has the duo to thank. Yayoi immediately knows that she has to find Kei because he is obviously in danger. Kei finally figures out that Yayoi is still alive, but before he can pull himself together, the spirit starts dragging him to his demise. Thankfully, Yayoi shows up at the right time, and she is able to save the guy. Kei starts thanking Yayoi for saving him, but Yayoi tells him to pull himself together because they have the spirit to contend with. Kei then tells Yayoi that the reason they have not heard anything bad about the ruins is the fact that no one has lived or returned to tell the tale. In fact, the spirit is quite powerful because of the number of souls that she has consumed. Kishimojin's finger starts to shake, which signifies that even she is scared of the spirit they are about to go against. Yayoi then decides that it is time to unleash why he will continue to do his best. As they exit the ruins, the spirit gives them a part of her, telling them to call on her whenever they need help. She appreciates what they have done for her, and she will always come to their aid. When they return to the house, Aiko is ultimately disappointed that she is not a part of their latest adventure. However, Yayoi lets her know that they are going against a scarier being for their next mission. They will be planning to take down a woman dressed in a kimono located in the F-tunnel. It turns out that the woman is also rated S rank, which almost creeps Kei out. Before preparing for their next trip to the tunnel, Yayoi shows the team that she still has the scary talisman with her. She tells them that she needs to keep it somewhere safe. Aiko and Kei also get to talk. Aiko lets Kei know that she is aware of the fact that his heart races whenever they are in danger, but for some reason, he seems to enjoy it. Meanwhile, those who corrupted the spirit at the ruins have gone back and are disappointed that the talisman is missing. They torture a few ghosts to show their anger. The talisman seems to be crucial to whatever the evil guys are planning, which is why they need to get their hands on it. On the other hand, the Spectre of Death and Kishimojin somehow come into contact, but a clash is narrowly avoided. Shortly afterward, the spirit hunting group makes their way to the F-tunnel, where the scary spirit is waiting for them. However, Yayoi tells them that she needs to pick up a new graduate before they go into the tunnel. This graduate is near the T River, and it seems to be a powerful one at that. Apparently, the graduate that they are after is a powerful spirit, but not an evil spirit. It is the spirit of a man who fought in the South Pacific during the war. He was resilient and tagged unkillable during the war. Even after his death, this title remains. However, the spirit of the soldiers he killed during the war surrounds his spirit, seeking vengeance. They have tried taking him down, but his durability helps him to remain just as he is. Because he is practically unkillable, he has been looking for who is going to unalive him. To get to the graduate, Yayoi tells her team members that they need to get rid of the soldiers surrounding him first. These are spirit soldiers, so they are not going to hesitate in trying to kill the team. Yayoi tells them that they need to be extremely careful when dealing with the spirits. They soon arrive at the riverside where they find a mannequin. Beside the mannequin is a television. There are bite marks on the mannequin, and just then, the TV comes on, showing the graduate when he was still a man. The TV provides lighting for them to see the ghosts crawling up to them, trying to harm them. One of the ghosts makes its way into Kei's body, showing just how much decimation the graduate caused when he was a serving soldier. Kei's body is so hot that he doesn't know when he finished a bottle of water, all thanks to the soldier's influence. The soldier spirit who entered Kei tries to rip his body open just to drink his blood because of his thirst for water. However, Kei is lucky that he has one of the dolls protecting him. Before things get even worse, Yayoi surrounds them with salt to keep the ghosts away. However, the spirits still continue to go after Kei. It seems Kei is like a chocolate that all the kids want to get their hands on. Yayoi then tells Aiko that the graduate is inside the mannequin's head. Once they are able to put an extra layer of seal on the graduate, they have successfully taken care of the spirit soldiers. Aiko runs to where the mannequin is and manages to grab the graduate, but she finds it difficult to return to the group because she is surrounded by ghosts who want to end her. Aiko has no choice but to throw the graduate to Yayoi. Yayoi then gives Kei a spiritual rope to seal the graduate. This powerful rope is enough to add an extra layer of seal on the graduate, taming its power and getting rid of the spirit soldiers. The mission is a success yet again, and they also manage to all get out alive. After this, the trio gets their strength up so that they can finally take on the tunnel mission. Aiko came close to dying, but this only increased her passion to visit more haunted places. Upon arriving at the entrance of the tunnel, Yayoi gives them a doll each to protect them from any problem they might run into. They need to be careful inside the tunnel because there is no escape once they are trapped. This is the reason the tunnel is rated an S-rank tunnel. The story behind the tunnel is the fact that a family got murdered by a psychopath using an axe. There is also a rumor of a person getting crushed to death by a truck. In fact, there is a long list of why the tunnel is quite dangerous. Just then, the trio decides to explore the tunnel, but Aiko realizes that her phone has lost reception. Suddenly, Aiko finds herself outside the tunnel, but Kei and Yayoi are not with her. She is still trying to figure out what is going on when a girl holding a camera walks out of the tunnel. She claims to be a YouTuber who is there to record detailed events about the tunnel. Her name is Anna, and she seems like a cool person. Anna claims to have seen Yayoi and Kei while walking out of the tunnel. Anna and Aiko return to the tunnel to try and find Kei and Yayoi. As they continue walking, Anna tells Aiko the story of the killer ghost who apparently cuts his victims to pieces after unaliving them. Shortly afterward, the two realize that they are trapped in the tunnel because all attempts to go out turns futile. The two decide to turn back to the way they were coming. Suddenly, Anna screams out, telling Aiko that she needs to finish telling her the story. Anna tells Aiko that the killer ghost is quite deadly because of its method of unaliving people. The two soon find traces of what seem like human remains in the ground, making things even more scary. They try running out of the tunnel, but as expected, it ends in failure. Meanwhile, Yayoi has figured out that Aiko is no longer with them, but intentionally waited till they were halfway into the tunnel before enacting her plan. She wants the spirit that is following them to lead them to where Aiko is. Anna tells Aiko that the ghost cuts his victims' legs to prevent them from running. He also cuts their hands to stop them from fighting back. After this, he gets rid of their organs, leaving the vital ones to keep them alive. At this point, Aiko realizes that Anna is telling a story about herself. Anna reveals that the ghost killer flayed her skin and wore her face as a mask before dragging his axe through her skull. Aiko is already freaking out at this point, and when she looks to the ground, she sees a horrifying image of Anna staring at her. Aiko is dripping sweat already, and in an attempt to escape, she realizes that a metal door is sitting at the tunnel exit. Anna then continues with her horror story, telling Aiko that the friend who was with her when everything happened tried to save her, but in reality, Anna didn't want her to save her. Instead, she wanted the friend to suffer the same fate as her. This is the same thing that Anna now wants for Aiko. She doesn't want to be the only one to suffer, but wants Aiko to be a part of it. Just then, the killer ghost shows himself. He is a giant, wielding an axe, and he is dressed in white. Aiko tries running for her life, but everything is nothing but a waste because there is no escape room or door for her. She is trapped with the ghost, and all she can do is wait there for the ghost to unalive her. The ghost swings his axe at her, but the doll protecting her takes the damage instead. On the other hand, Yayoi and Kei realize that the ghost tailing them is Anna's friend who was trying to save her. She tries to attack them, but Yayoi knocks her to the ground. Yayoi then captures her in one of her paper dolls, demanding that she take them to where Aiko is. The spirit protecting Aiko emerges and goes after the killer ghost. However, the killer ghost is more powerful than Aiko's guardian. He is able to easily take down the spirit protecting Aiko, leaving her totally vulnerable. Yayoi and Kei arrive just in time to see the killer ghost dragging Aiko into another tunnel. The ghost taunts them, telling them to follow him. Yayoi tells Kei that they are going to enter the tunnel after the ghost, but they need to be extremely careful. They can't use their graduate to fight the ghost inside the tunnel, because it might come crashing on them. Their options are to get Aiko out safely, and force the ghost to fight them outside of the tunnel where they can make use of their graduate. Even though Kei is scared to death, he doesn't mind entering the tunnel to save his girlfriend. Upon entering the tunnel, the first spirit they come across tries to crush Kei's eyeballs, but he makes a run for it. Yayoi and Kei then come across the killer ghost. The ghost holds on to one of his victims as if it is a dog. It turns out that the ghost is taunting the two, urging them to play tag with him. Yayoi figures out that they are going to have to rescue Aiko to win the terrifying game that the ghost wants to play with them. Shortly afterward, the two find Aiko. Her mouth is gagged, but with her head signs, she is trying to tell Kei that the environment is not safe. Kei looks around to realize that they are surrounded by ghost heads. One of them comes lounging at Kei and almost ends, but he survives the attack thanks to the doll protecting him. Yayoi frees Aiko from her binds, but things are not quite easy since the ghosts are after them. Kei backs Aiko and runs for it while the ghosts try to end them. Their protective dolls continue to take the hits. Just as they are about to reach the tunnel entrance, the ghost killer comes flying at Aiko and Kei, but Yayoi manages to kick him away. One of the attack ghosts grabs onto Kei, trying to prevent him from leaving the tunnel, but Aiko pours salt on him to get rid of him. Just as they step out of the tunnel, the ghost killer grabs Yayoi, but Aiko throws one of the dolls to her. The spirit is able to protect her from the killer ghost till she makes it out of there. The killer ghost steps out of the tunnel, ready to kill the team. However, everything is going according to Yayoi's plan. She is now free to unleash the graduate she has with her since they are out of the tunnel. The graduate that is going to take on the killer ghost is the new graduate that they just acquired. The soldier spirit is looking for who to kill him. Once Yayoi unleashes the soldier, he creates a dark emblem on the floor. The ghost killer comes after the soldier, but he effortlessly blocks off the attacks. The soldier believes that the ghost's attack is quite weak. The soldier then increases the size of his attack area. In addition to this, he brings out another weapon, hoping that the killer ghost will have a better chance with this. The moment the soldier expands his attack area, Yayoi puts her phone on record and suggests that they run away from the area. She tells them that the soldier will keep summoning more powerful weapons, and at the same time, his attack area is going to get bigger. They are going to get paralyzed if they are caught in the attack area. The killer ghost evolves into a more powerful spirit and comes after the soldier, but his attempt to unalive the soldier turns futile. The soldier finally gets to his last stage where he brings out a grenade to weaken himself, hoping the ghost will be able to kill him. The trio manages to escape the attack area, but Kei's legs get caught in it, causing him to get paralyzed. Kei also shrinks, leaving him looking like an old man. The killer ghost tries everything in his power, but fails to kill the soldier, leaving him defeated. Once the killer ghost is weakened, the soldier places a grenade in his mouth, blowing him and the surrounding ghosts to smithereens. The killer ghost is defeated, and the spirit soldier returns to the doll once his work is done. He will continue to wait till he can find someone who can actually kill him. Yayoi then approaches the weakened state of the killer ghost, offering him a chance to live. Believing that he is going to get the chance to kill more people, the ghost takes the offer. However, he soon realizes that this is a mistake, as Yayoi already prepared a well-deserved punishment routine for him. The doll is like a prison for him, and this is where he is going to suffer everything he has done to those he has killed. In addition to his suffering, the ghost is going to be one of their protectors. After this, Yayoi enters the tunnel to clean up the spirits of the victims. However, there is no sign of Anna among those that Yayoi packed up. The trio gets into the car, ready to leave when Anna suddenly pops out from Aiko's tummy. It turns on the vehicle, ready to smash it into a barrier, but Yayoi manages to overpower her before she gets to do this. Even with this, Aiko still pities Anna, believing that she is the friend she made while in the tunnel. Yayoi then captures Anna with one of her paper dolls, and she hands Anna over to Aiko, telling her to do whatever she wants with the girl, with this paper doll in it. With this, Aiko tells Anna that she is going to stay with her forever. Aiko makes the face of a creep as usual as she seals Anna in a box. Meanwhile, Ai is returning to the city after her brother's memorial service, but she is lost. Her phone is dead, which is why she can't contact anyone for help. She soon finds herself in front of a shrine. Unknown to Ai, this shrine inhabits a powerful spirit, but she has no idea. Nonetheless, she has the divine spirit to protect her. Up next, Aiko tells Yayoi of her plan to buy a creepy house, which they will use for a dorm to house the graduates. Aiko has been saving money for this, which makes it easier. Yayoi likes the plan, and in no time, they find what seems like the perfect house for them. The two drive down to the house to meet the owner. The man tells the two that the house originally belonged to his father, but he inherited it after he died. There are some bad rumors about the house. The father and daughter who previously rented the house supposedly unalived themselves. After the incident, a female officer comes to check out the house, but 10 days later, she gives birth to a baby with a giant head, tearing through her abdomen. There is the tale that whoever enters the house will be forced to give birth to the murder victim's spirits. The owner is not ready to go through the stress of maintaining the house, which is why he wants to sell it off. He hands them the keys and leaves, telling them to call him once they are done checking out the house. He is not ready to be involved in anything supernatural that will end up taking his life. The two enter the house to see the father and daughter ghost ushering in a wandering ghost. Yayoi feels like something is off, and she tells Aiko to keep her eyes open. They enter the living room where there are water cups on the table. Aiko suddenly loses herself and almost drinks the water, but Yayoi knocks her back to reality. The ghost daughter is clearly pained that Aiko didn't drink the water because it is obviously poisoned. They turn around to see the ghost father dragging the unconscious wandering ghost to another section of the house. They follow him until he leads them to a well. The ghost is thrown into the well and lit on fire. This is a practice of what they were doing when they were alive. Suddenly, a scary-looking spirit emerges from the upper floor and consumes the burning ghost. Yayoi then suggests that they check out the upper floor. They get there to find what seems like an altar. Out of nowhere, a big-headed baby appears to them, calling Aiko his mother. Yayoi and Aiko immediately make a run for it. They get to the kitchen where they see a memory of the father accidentally killing his wife. The guilt of his wife's murder starts causing the father immense hurt. This also affects his daughter, and while they are vulnerable, a spirit appears to them, telling them that all they need to do is conduct a ritual to solve their problems. One of the ritual processes requires that the father lay with his daughter. The two don't want to do this, but end up doing it either way. Their plan is to make an angel that will take away their suffering. After conceiving the child, they aim to use the wife's body as a vessel. After this, they start killing people by burning them in the well to feed the angel. The angel is a big-headed baby, and after feeding the baby for long, it becomes big. They successfully created an angel, but Yayoi is confused as to why the two are still killing wandering ghosts. Yayoi and Aiko soon realize that they are in danger. They run out of the house, but the baby intercepts them and grabs Aiko, referring to her as mother. Thankfully, Yayoi is able to kill the baby using one of their protective spirits. Aiko suggests that they return to the car so she can catch her breath. They are in the car when another big baby shows up. It drags Aiko out of the car before Yayoi can do anything. It then forces itself down Aiko's throat, and by the time Yayoi comes out of the car, the baby has already manifested itself in Aiko's tummy. The two remember the police officer who died because of this. Apparently, the father and daughter continued the ritual in search of a mother capable of carrying the baby. However, Yayoi knows the process is going to kill Aiko, which is why they need to get rid of it, and fast. It dawns on Yayoi that there are 2 more babies that they need to eliminate, or Aiko is going to die. Meanwhile, Kei is starting to regain his lost weight. He receives a call from Aiko, and the conversation seems pretty weird, but Kei doesn't know Aiko is facing a life and death situation. Once Aiko is done with the call, she feels better and tells Yayoi that she is ready for the process of removing the baby. To force out the baby, Yayoi attacks it, and in turn, it causes Aiko pain. However, the baby has no choice but to come out of Aiko. Once it is out, one of Yayoi's spirits consumes it. There is still a curse living inside Aiko, and they need to kill the last baby to get rid of it. The last baby is providing energy to sustain the curse, which is why they need to get rid of it. The last baby is in the house, and the two proceed into the house. Upon entering, Aiko falls into an illusion where she sees herself carrying one of the babies. This causes her immense pain, but Yayoi is there to snap her back to reality again. Suddenly, Aiko gets separated from Yayoi and she finds herself at the well. The ghost daughter pushes into the well, waiting for the baby to enter into her. Meanwhile, Yayoi is already running around the house looking for Aiko. Before the baby can reach Aiko inside the well, Yayoi shows up. She hits the baby, harming it and forcing it to run away. The ghost daughter also runs away in disappointment, giving Yayoi the chance to let down a rope for Aiko to climb on. The ghost daughter finds the wounded baby and starts hitting it for not doing what it was supposed to do. Her father tries to caution her, but she wouldn't listen. She turns her back to the baby, and before she knows it, the baby eats her up. Yayoi and Aiko get to find the ghost father blaming himself for everything that happened. The baby appears and bites the father in half. Before the baby can do more damage, one of Yayoi's spirits shows up to unalive it. However, the curse on Aiko's tummy still remains. Luckily for them, they look closely into the room to find a hidden compartment. Inside the compartment, they find a bone that has been retained from the mother's corpse. Yayoi tells Aiko to take a picture of the bone before she then destroys it. Once the bone is destroyed, the curse leaves Aiko's body, which means the bone was sustaining the curse. Yayoi then turns her attention to the ghost father. To make him atone for everything he has done, Yayoi strings him to the entrance of the house. This is also going to scare people away, making it the perfect creepy house. Once everything is settled, Aiko calls the house owner and says that they are ready to buy the house. Meanwhile, Kei's younger twin sisters watch the news about a train derailment. The camera zooms in to show Ai's unconscious body lying in the middle of the wreckage. The specter of death soon shows up at the scene. She tries to take Ai, but the divine being is not going to allow that. He repels the specter's attack with a simple barrier. However, the divine being becomes interested in the specter of death. Because of this, he heals her and suggests that they fight again when she has gotten stronger than she currently is. With this, the specter of death leaves the area. Aiko and Yayoi return from their adventure. They visit Kei at his house and bring a lot of food for him to eat. They also tell him about the new house that they just purchased. After taking care of Kei, the two leave. On their way home, Yayoi tells Aiko that she wants to make a quick stop to pick one of her graduates. This brings about the conversation of Kishimojin. Aiko asks her why they haven't added Kishimojin to their list so that they can take on the divine being. Yayoi then reveals that Kishimojin has one rule that cannot be broken. Since she is a divine being who looks after kids, she doesn't attack children. It seems the specter of death is now aware of this fact and she is on her way to Kishimojin's shrine. She plans to absorb Kishimojin so she can have what it takes to fight the divine being. The specter of death shows up at Kishimojin's shrine, and using her only weakness against her, she is able to defeat the divine being. She absorbs Kishimojin, making her even more powerful. The specter of death is no doubt more dangerous than she was before the entire plan began, making things even more deadly for Yayoi and her team. Up next, the team visits a haunted hotel, where numerous victims are said to have been abused. Yayoi has come to the hotel in the past to observe the ghosts. She found something interesting back then, and this was the location of a secret room. The secret room is hard to get to, but she was able to get her way in. This is where she hid one of her graduates. However, the graduate seems to be hiding from her now. Yayoi has found it difficult to get to where the graduates are in recent times. This is the reason Yayoi is giving the task to Kei. She believes the graduate is going to let Kei in since he is a guy. Before going into the hotel, Yayoi gives the two protective dolls and a talisman to keep them safe. Just as they step into the hotel, Kei is immediately separated from the girls. As usual, Kei is freaking out of his mind, but he pulls himself together. Since Yayoi has already told him how to get to the secret room, he makes it his task to get to the room. Meanwhile, the girls are trying to track him down, using their phone GPS. Kei starts navigating the rooms, following all the instructions that Yayoi gave him. He soon finds a wandering ghost go into a room but gets mutilated by some weird-looking spirits. He freaks out but continues the mission. Once the ghost leaves the room, Kei continues with what he is supposed to do. He leads the ghost to another room which is locked. Once he is able to get the ghost's attention, Kei continues further. The ghost remains on his tail until he soon finds himself surrounded by the tiny weird spirits. He almost gets shredded when the ghost comes out of the room again to distract them. Kei then finds the way to the secret room. Just as he is about to reach the top of the stairs, the ghost appears to him, stares him in the eyes, grabs his hands and tries to switch places with him. Thankfully, Kei catches on to this quickly and kicks off the ghost's hand. Before the ghost can get another chance to mess with him, Kei runs for it. He enters the secret room and behind a curtain, he sees a lady who is tied up. He goes behind the curtain to find Aiko. He runs over to help her, and after removing a few binds, Aiko drags him close so he can feel her melons. Kei starts wondering if the girl is really Aiko. Just then, the castle ghost's talisman in his pocket slightly cuts his throat to release blood into the water. This gives Kei a clear view that he is not talking to Aiko, but the actual graduate. All she has been trying to do is get Kei to release her. The moment the graduate realizes that Kei has figured it out, she sets the room on fire. She demands that Kei release her, or they both stay in the room forever. She also pins Kei to the ground, showing him what he is going to look like if he doesn't cooperate with her. Meanwhile, Aiko and Yayoi have tracked Kei to the supposed secret room, but there is no sign of the boy. However, Yayoi can hear him, but she can't see him. Kei, on the other hand, is now struggling with the graduate, and he is trying to seal her off. He is making progress with this, but the annoying ghost from before shows up again. She is back with her request, so switch places with Kei. Thankfully, Yayoi manages to get hold of this, and she makes the ghost disappear. Eiko and Yayoi enter the room and try to bridge a connection to Kei. Eiko stretches forth her cursed hand so it can reach Kei. Eiko's hand reaches the graduate, causing her pain, which in turn gives Kei the chance to finally seal the graduate. Kei falls to the ground and everything returns to normal. Kei can now see his team members, and the graduate is finally out of their hair. Yayoi praises Kei for a job well done, but Kei thanks Eiko in return, telling her that she actually helped. With this, their mission is complete, but this is just a side mission, because the real mission is at the Watergate. They are going after an S-rank spirit that resides at the Watergate. As for the ghosts in the hotel, Yayoi tells Kei that they are all going to pass on after inflicting pain on those who killed them. Kei then mentions the fact that one of the spirits tried switching places with him. Immediately, Yayoi hears this. She asks Kei the exact date that they met. Kei is able to say what date it is, and Yayoi heaves a sigh of relief. She lets Kei know that a wrong answer would have meant the spirit was successful in switching places with him. Yayoi realizes that they already have another problem on their hands, and this is how they are going to figure out spirits that are walking around like regular humans. Meanwhile, the evil cult is going around purchasing relics that will serve their purpose. The blonde guy is Oswald, while the woman with him is Shami. They are posed as spiritualists who exorcise evil spirits, but they themselves are evil. After purchasing a powerful knife and leaving the house, we find out that Oswald and Shami are not the real versions of themselves. They have been replaced by evil spirits. It turns out that spirits know everything about their hosts once they take over the body, which makes it easier for them to deceive people. They can even use the power that their host can use too. Shami then heads to the Watergate because she has a mission there. Kei and his team also arrive at the Watergate not long after that. They see Shami standing in the distance. It turns out that Shami is a popular exorcist who has done lots of work. The team immediately assumes that she is there to exorcise the same spirit that they are after. Unknown to them, this is not the real Shami because her spirit has been switched by an evil spirit. Yayoi rushes over to Shami to talk to her because she is interested in exorcists who know what they are doing. Kei feels a powerful aura around him but can't quite place his finger around what it is. Kei then introduces himself and the team to the woman. Since they are all there to exorcise the spirit, Aiko decides to read out what makes the area a haunted place. Apparently an event happened that now leaves spirits in the water. After hearing the horror story, the group proceeds further to the Watergate. They find some kids playing under a shed, but the kids soon leave, but one of them remains there. He is playing with his drawing book, and Kei decides to check out what the kid is doing. Ghosts usually come out in the night, so Kei suggests that the kid leaves before then. The kid gives Kei his drawing book to look at. The kid has a story written in the drawing book. With what he wrote in the book, it turns out that he no longer has a mother. Kei continues following the story, and at one point, he thinks the boy is being abused by his father. Kei looks up to see that the kid has gotten close to the water. He rushes over to check on him, only to see him eating a plate full of meatballs. Kei continues with the story, and he is horrified when he finds out the real deal. Apparently his mother was cheating, and when his father found out, he was killed by the side guy. Not long after this, the boy was given a plate full of meatballs to dump in the river. Getting to the river, the boy decides to eat the meatballs instead because he is hungry. Unknown to him, he was eating his father's body. Later on, the boy's mother killed the side guy. She also tracked the boy down to the Watergate where she stabbed him repeatedly until he died. The mother then turned the boy and the side guy into meatballs which she threw over the Watergate. The boy now knew that the meatball he ate back then was his father. This hurt him so much that his spirit cries out while begging his father for forgiveness. Just as Kei finishes the story, the boy disappears, and this is when they realize that the boy is a spirit. With the things they have seen, they realize that the boy spirit is quite a powerful one. The boy hates his mother and would eliminate everyone who looks like his mother. In fact, he now sees everyone as his mother. Out of nowhere, the spirit tries to attack Kei, but Shami steps in to repel the attack. This costs Shami because the spirit immediately redirects his attack on her. Shami's hand is cut off, and she is dragged to the top of the Watergate where he strangles her just as everyone else who is his victim. After Shami's death, the plate becomes filled up with meatballs. Kei takes a better look at the drawing book again, and it dawns on him that the boy wants all of them to die. He doesn't want empathy, but a way to unleash his rage on everyone he comes in contact with. This makes him a very dangerous spirit to go against. Yayoi figures out that the meatballs that the spirit consumes actually make him stronger. In addition, anyone who has been added to his drawing book has no means of escape. They have been automatically cursed, which means they need to fight their way out of this one, and makes sure that the spirit releases the curse. However, they need to get rid of the drawing book first, because even the protective spirits will not have a chance against him as long as the drawing book remains active. Just when Yayoi is about to put her plan into action, the spirit attacks them. The spirit grabs them with his multiple hands. Yayoi fights back, but in the process of fighting back, she loses her protective doll, giving the spirit the chance to drag her to the top of the water gate. Kei is also pinned down, leaving Eiko the only free one. Kei tells Eiko to leave him and go after Yayoi instead. Kei is at the risk of drowning, but he still wants Eiko to save Yayoi. Eiko starts running to the top of the water gate, but the spirit attacks her. Thankfully, Eiko is protected by Anna's spirit, which Eiko has locked in her house. Because of the slime build, Anna gets to regenerate quickly, giving her the chance to defend Eiko multiple times. All of the spirit's attack is directed to Anna, and Eiko easily gets to the top of the gate. Eiko saves Yayoi, and together they run down the stairs in a rush to save Kei. However, they run into spirits that separate Eiko from Yayoi. The spirits attack Eiko, but the doll takes the damage. Before they can get through to Eiko, Yayoi manages to open the door, and she gets rid of the spirits using her own protective spirit. The two then rush down to the water, but they already have a plan in mind. Yayoi goes to Kei to try and save him, while the spirit aims to end them. The spirit is focused on the two, forgetting about Eiko. Before the spirit knows what is happening, Eiko hits him with a stone tied to a rope. This causes his drawing book to fall into the water. Eiko joins the other two, and they make a run for it. The boy spirit gets mad and comes after the trio. This is all part of Yayoi's plan, because she is expecting the spirit to hit the graduate that they picked up on their way to the water gate. She is the only one who would attack the boy spirit since she is pissed. Once they are at a safe distance, Yayoi releases the graduate, Otogiri, the soul-sucking courtesan. Otogiri is still acting all beautiful until the spirit attacks her, ruining her beauty. The spirit ruins a section of her skin and turns it into meatballs, which he eats. Otogiri's skin starts to peel off, but this only makes her mad. Yayoi suggests that they stay back because things are about to get ugly. Otogiri unleashes a bunch of fiery butterflies that sucks the souls out of wandering ghosts, making her more powerful and beautiful. Otogiri also uses the part of her that the spirit ate to curse him. This causes lumps all over the spirit's body. Yayoi then gives us a backstory as to what happened to Otogiri when she was still alive. She was a courtesan and in fact, considered the most beautiful one. The boy spirit is weakened, but he still manages to pull through. He comes after Otogiri with everything he has and decimates her. At this point, Kei and his team are already scared that the spirit is going to win, and after this, he will definitely come for them. However, Yayoi knows just what to do to get Otogiri mad. She throws a mirror in front of her to show her how ugly she is. Otogiri sees this and screams out in agony. The scene goes back to Otogiri's time when she was considered the most beautiful courtesan. She had an apprentice named Kurenai. When a rich man comes to propose to Otogiri, Kurenai becomes jealous and puts together an evil plan. The first thing Kurenai does is to cause the rich man pain while blaming it on Otogiri. Kurenai poisoned Otogiri, which resulted in lumps developing all over her body. Otogiri tries to find a solution to her problem but fails. She was moping about her bad state when Kurenai showed up to mock her. Otogiri couldn't believe that she was betrayed by her apprentice. To make matters worse, Kurenai shows Otogiri what she looks like in a mirror. With this, Kurenai added salt to Otogiri's already burning wounds. Otogiri couldn't take the insult, and in the end, she pours fuel on herself and Kurenai. She lights the match, leaving a fiery scene. Kurenai screams out in pain as she burns to death, but Otogiri laughs like a true sociopath. Now in the present day, Otogiri activates the third level of her curse, which is the Burning Manse. Everywhere turns fiery red, inflicting damage on the boy spirit. The boy spirit finds himself trapped without a way out and tries to heal himself by eating some spirits, but this doesn't work. Otogiri's fire is just too powerful, and it burns down everything in its vicinity. The boy spirit makes a last-ditch attempt to consume Otogiri, but he fails at this. He shatters to pieces as he gets closer to Otogiri. Once the boy spirit has been defeated, they now have Otogiri herself to deal with. Before Otogiri can get out of control, Yayoi lets out the spirit from Castle H. Otogiri releases a flood of fiery butterflies to take on the team. Yayoi easily counters this by telling the white spirit to cover Otogiri's eyes. With this, Otogiri loses her target system. Kei then puts more effort into trying to seal the spirit. He manages to get this done at the right time. Otogiri goes back into the doll but threatens to wipe out the team any day she gets the chance. After Otogiri is sealed, Yayoi approaches the boy spirit, giving him the chance to work with her. Yayoi decides not to punish him because his story actually deserves some level of sympathy. Yayoi promises to stay with the spirit until his grudge is washed away, and he finally passes on peacefully. As for Kei and Eiko, Yayoi lets them know that they have no choice but to keep coming with her on raids, because the more numbers they have on their side, the higher their chances of winning. Just as they are about to leave the scene, they spot Shami's bag on the floor. They look into it to find the other talisman in the bag. Yayoi starts to wonder what Shami would want with something so evil. She looks around to find Shami's spirit, but there is no sign of it. This leaves her puzzled because the spirit is supposed to be at the scene. It then dawns on them that Shami might have been replaced by another spirit. The team then calls the police to inform them of the bodies lying in the river. Unknown to them, the spirit that possessed Shami has managed to get herself into another body. The police arrive not long after to take the team to the station so they can get their statement. After their statements have been taken down, they run into a woman who looks like Shami. It turns out that the woman is Shami's sister and her name is Namiko. She is also a spiritualist just like her sister. Namiko initially believes that the team might have been the ones who killed her sister, but after taking a better look at Yayoi, she realizes that she is wrong. Namiko easily figures out that Yayoi is talented and offers her a job to work for her, but Yayoi outrightly declines the offer. She is experienced enough and doesn't think she needs Namiko. Just then, Namiko lets the team know that she knew that Shami was replaced. She explains to them that the aura around an individual changes the moment they are replaced. She further mentions that some spirits are experienced enough to hide this, making it even more difficult to know when a person has been replaced. Before leaving, Namiko tells the team to be careful because lots of professionals have been replaced recently. Namiko is also on the hunt for the spirits who killed her sister. She is ready to tear them limb from limb for causing her pain. Namiko and Yayoi then exchange contacts, vowing to reach out to each other whenever any of them needs help. Later that day, 2 police officers working at the storage area are attacked by an evil spirit. The number increases in no time, leaving the police officers looking like idiots after their brains have been melted. Hours after the incident, the affected policemen all pass away. Everything surrounding this was mysterious, and the police decided not to release an official statement about the incident. It turns out that the spirit's name is Dorothy, and she is working with Oswald. She has now been given a mission to investigate Yayoi, so they can know she was able to defeat the spirit at the Watergate. Meanwhile, Yayoi has found out about Ai's incident. She suggests that they go check on her, but Kei refuses, reminding Yayoi that she has school. Yayoi angrily walks away. But after she is gone, Kei tells Eiko to get info on Ai so that they can know the next step to take. The following day, Yayoi goes to school, but everything in her head revolves around Ai's incident. She wonders why the divine being healed the specter of death after injuring her. Yayoi is thinking about all of these when she runs into Dorothy. Since Dorothy is there to investigate Yayoi, she comes off as a friendly person who is interested in the supernatural. Yayoi is not indifferent towards the girl, but remains vigilant. Upon getting to class, Yayoi tells her classmates about the ghosts in the school, but no one believes her. Just then, Dorothy enters, telling them that it is true. Apparently, there are 7 ghosts in the school, and to prove it, Dorothy suggests that they follow her. She takes them to the toilet where a supposed ghost called Hanako resides. They get to the toilet, and Dorothy suggests that they knock on the door 3 times. Upon doing this, Hanako's ghost comes out, but only Yayoi and Dorothy can see him, since the others do not have the supernatural insight. Hanako just comes out of the toilet and walks away without doing anything. After looking into the other 6 locations, they are left with disappointment. However, Dorothy claims to know another location where the ghosts usually converge. She even has the key to the room with her. When Yayoi sees this, she wonders what Dorothy is planning. Upon getting to the locked room, Dorothy gives one of the guys the key, telling him to unlock the door. It turns out that Dorothy has previously left markings around the school to lead the ghosts into the locked room. Apparently, the room forces the ghosts to attack each other, bringing out whatever resentments they might have. Dorothy tells Yayoi that everything she is doing is an experiment. She wants to create a spirit that holds a high grudge, which in turn would thirst for murder. By the time Yayoi realizes Dorothy's game, the boy already unlocks the door. A massive aura comes out of the room, covering the entire school and knocking out everyone in the school. Everyone is transported into a subconscious state. Yayoi then sees everything that happened to Hanako. He was framed for acting indecent toward a student, and this led to him losing his credibility. Everyone turned their backs on him even though he tried explaining that he didn't do what they claimed he did. He suffered negatively so much to the extent that his wife and child left him. It turns out that one of the students planted the picture on his phone when it was unlocked. With this, Hanako's life was ruined. Not being able to live with all that has happened, Hanako ended it. He left behind a note written in blood. Hanako hopes that the demon children suffer for the crimes they committed against him. This grudge has been living with Hanako's ghost, but he was so close to disappearing if Dorothy had not messed with him. Now that the innate rage has been activated, Hanako has gone completely berserk. Dorothy is the first to escape the dream dimension, and of course, she was the one who created the entire thing. Hanako's ghost holds a candle in his hands as he walks around the school. The first person he catches is the Fatso. He catches him in the toilet where he is hiding. Hanako blows out his candle and the guy is shredded. The Fatso wakes up to reality, but he is more or less half awake. His subconscious self starts to cry bitterly. On the other hand, Dorothy wants to see what Yayoi is going to do. She wants to see if she will be able to save herself and the other students in time. Hanako soon finds Dorothy and attacks her, but Dorothy has her protective doll with her. The spirit residing in the doll emerges and tears Hanako's head off. Yayoi thinks it is over, but she turns back to see Hanako walking up to her with his wounds healed. Yayoi figures that the teacher will continue to regenerate as long as he is in this reality space. Meanwhile, the class rep is running around, trying to escape the building. However, she keeps returning. Luckily for her, she spots Yayoi in the distance. Yayoi is about to have a face-off with Hanako, but when she sees the rep's call, she changes her plan. The rep hears Yayoi telling her to meet her at the stairs. The rep is relieved to hear this as she walks to the stairs. However, she gets to the stairs to realize that she has been set up by Hanako. The Yayoi she was talking to on the phone is nothing but a fake Hanako. The rep is now in Hanako's grasp, and there is nowhere to run. Just when the rep is about to die, Yayoi and her protective spirit come to the rescue. Hanako is torn into two, and he vanishes. The rep is very happy to see Yayoi, and she hugs her heartily. The two now need to figure out a way to beat Hanako's game. Yayoi assumes the key to everything is in the room where Hanako unalived himself, and this is where they need to go. Yayoi later adds that they might have a chance to save the fatso if Hanako passes on peacefully. As they continue running through the school, they are attacked multiple times by Hanako, but Yayoi's defense system takes care of the situation. They soon arrive at the room where Hanako died. Each of the students has their pictures in the room. The rep walks over to where her picture is and pulls it out. Surprisingly, she leaves the haunted space and returns to the real world. With this, Yayoi figures out that they get to win the game once they pull their pictures out. Hanako is about to get Yayoi when she manages to pull out her picture too. Yayoi returns to real life where the rep is waiting for her. Since the two are safe, they now need to find a way to save the others. They go to the room where Hanako died, and Yayoi makes her protective spirit eat up Hanako's evil brain. This takes away his power, leaving him weakened. However, Yayoi is not going to punish him because everything that happened was not his fault. Yayoi sprays salt on him, giving him the opportunity to pass on to the afterlife. Once this is done, the rep hears a loud ring in her head, and this is Yayoi's protective spirit evolving into a graduate after taking down Hanako. The spirit is bound to get more powerful as long as he is featured in more battles. Yayoi promises him that he is going to get him more battles as long as he continues to help her. Not long after this, the students start waking up. Paramedics are already on site to check on Dorothy comes out of hiding, telling Yayoi that she was the one who called the medical personnel. None of the students died in the incident, all thanks to Yayoi. Everyone was taken to the hospital, but the mystery behind the incident remains dark to the outside world. At the hospital, Dorothy approaches Yayoi, and she tells her that she and her allies are working on a project. It turns out that the project is the Spectre of Death. Yayoi is supposed to get angry, but she realizes that she can play her game well to get close to Dorothy and her so-called allies. Yayoi already figures out that Dorothy is a replaced fellow. Dorothy tells Yayoi that she was testing her with Hanako's ghost, and she passed with flying colors. When Dorothy realizes that Yayoi knows the truth about her, Dorothy asks Yayoi how she knows. Yayoi then plays along, telling Dorothy that she is also a replaced spirit. In fact, Yayoi tells Dorothy that she is lucky to have met a spirit just like her. Unknown to Dorothy, Yayoi is only trying to get close to her so she can make her pay for everything that has happened. Dorothy starts yapping like a parrot, believing that she has found a good friend. Their conversation is shortened when Eiko arrives at the hospital to pick up her cousin. Eiko runs into the rep, and from their conversation, she is able to convert the girl into a fear-loving person, just like herself. Eiko is good at doing this, which makes it easy for her to accomplish. Eiko even gives the girl her contact, telling her to call her whenever she wants. After this, Eiko takes her cousin home. In the car, Yayoi calls Namiko, letting her know that a war is brewing and she is going to need her help. She tells Namiko to gather a bunch of spiritualists that she trusts. On the other hand, Yayoi wants to infiltrate the evil cult by getting close to Dorothy. After getting the names of their members, Yayoi wants Namiko and the spiritualists to hunt them down. Namiko happily accepts the task because she has been eager to punish those who harmed her sister. On the other hand, Kei is planning to visit Ai at the hospital. Kei is planning to call the girl when Ai's call comes in. Ai is deeply troubled about the train derailment, but Kei assures that she is going to be fine. He tells her that the train accident is not her fault, even though she is used to putting the blame on herself. Kei promises to come greet her, and Ai sends him the name of the hospital where she is currently receiving treatment. Kei tells Eiko and Yayoi about his plan to visit Ai at the hospital. Yayoi is on board with this, and she is already making plans on how to confront the divine being that Ai is betrothed to. Yayoi plans to fight the divine being with with the 7 graduates they currently have at their disposal. They have the High Priest of the Evil Tongue, the Imprisoned Martyr, Odagiri, the Spirit from Castle H, the Ghost from the F-Tunnel, the Ghost from the Watergate, and the Ghost that recently got stronger. Yayoi plans to place these graduates in strategic locations that will help them siphon pretty strong energy. This will create strong curses, but Yayoi plans to create paper substitutes to make sure the curses do not affect those who are living in the city. This will also act as a conduit to attack the divine being. Yayoi believes that they should have enough curse strength from this to seal the divine being. Kei is impressed with everything that Yayoi already has planned. He then urges them to finish preparations before they visit Ai, because it is apparent that the divine being will want to attack them. Because of the dangers attached to this mission, Yayoi suggests that they think hard about it. She doesn't want them making rash decisions that they might end up regretting in the end. Later on, Aiko calls Yayoi to her room to show her what she has been working on. She shows her the slime substitute that she created, which is by far more durable than its paper counterpart. Yayoi is impressed when she sees this, and in fact, more impressed when she realizes that Aiko has a store full of these substitutes. With this, Aiko even surpasses Yayoi's expectations of what she can actually do. Yayoi realizes that Aiko is ready to fight by her side, and this just makes everything much better. Aiko is ready to fight because the curse on her and Kei must have been inflicted by a powerful divine being, which is why she is ready to take on a divine being so she can know what the feeling is. On the other hand, Kei is also terrified, but he knows that this is something he needs to do. Ai is having a peaceful sleep until she suddenly finds herself having a scary nightmare. Ai sees herself getting wedded to the divine being. This takes away her freedom, beauty, and the like. Even Kei and his team failed to save Ai in this nightmare. This shows Ai that the divine being is ready to take what belongs to him. Ai wakes up from the nightmare crying bitterly. She is relieved that it was a nightmare, but at the same time, she is scared that her life is almost over. In the next scene, Kei shows up at Aiko's residence, telling her and Yayoi that he is ready to put himself in danger if it means saving Ai. To contribute to the team, Kei has already constructed devices that will help them to easily deploy their graduates. They can even do this remotely, which makes it much better. Everyone on the team is contributing to the success of the mission, and with this, their chances of winning increase. Before their journey to Kyoto, Yayoi visits the castle ruins to talk to the White Spirit. She tells the lady about the upcoming battle, and that her help will be needed. Once they have finished negotiations with the spirit, Yayoi and the team head to the graduate dorm. Yayoi leaves one of the talismans in the well. She knows to hide it just in case the bad guys come looking for it. Meanwhile, the evil spirits are now aware that Yayoi is with the talisman. They are planning to get close to her so that they can retrieve the arm. Dorothy asks to be on the team heading to Kyoto. They have strict instructions not to piss off the divine being, because they know that they don't have what it takes to fight him just yet. Soon afterward, Yayoi and her team get into the car and start driving to Kyoto to save their friends. At the same time, the evil spirits are moving to Kyoto. Namiko has also gathered her trusted spiritualist, and they are all ready for the war to come. Thanks for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to smash that like button and subscribe for more awesome content. Got an anime you're dying to see recapped? Drop it in the comments, and we'll make it happen.